You know, being a parent, being a father in this case, as I have in common with Matt Rogers, it's so important to teach our kids so many things. So today, Matt is here sharing with us how he can teach his children to give back and also acknowledge our servicemen and women of this country. So I love this about you. I mean, we talk a lot about parenting and being fathers and what our roles are and responsibilities. In this case, you've sort of added more to it.
Yeah, we do. And I mean, like we talk about, this is one thing that I love about this show is that you get to see the different sides of us and our family. And one thing that I really try to instill into my kids is the value of giving back. We do a lot of stuff like around Christmas time with the Angel Tree Foundation. We'll deliver gifts to kids whose parents are incarcerated. So you at home, you can definitely do that. And then also, like I like to have my kids write a letter to our servicemen and women. You can do that on amillionthanks.org, which is kind of how this whole concept started. And then out of coincidence, I ended up meeting Army Sergeant Nick Mendes at a dental office opening in our hometown of Corona, California, like 2.5 years ago. So when I started talking to the producers about this idea of, you know, bringing this on the show, there's us about 2.5 years ago. There's Sergeant Nick Mendes on the bottom. And then at the time, his fiance, Wendy, is next to him, and then there's our two dentists, Dr. Patel at Corona Dental Care.
And there you are.
Yeah, and then there's me right there. And I met him, and then it just kind of evolved from there, and I reached out to, you know, him and his wife and like, would you come on the show? I hadn't talked to him in 2.5 years. So Mason still wrote a letter, but I actually talked to him yesterday, so I heard they're going to be here.
Well, we have them actually with us via Skype. So please welcome Nick and his now wife, Wendy.
Welcome.
Hello, hello. Welcome to our show. What a special relationship, you know, and something that Matt really enjoys having a connection with both of you. Tell us a little bit of your story, and welcome, by the way, a little bit of your story, Nick.
So I was in the southern Kandahar region, and we were on patrol one day, and my vehicle ended up running over an IED, and it when it went off, it slammed my head into the roof, and it broke my neck, and so now I'm a quadriplegic.
So during, and by the way, I want to mention this, and I may say this 100 more times, but thank you so much for your service and commitment to our country. And that goes for all the other servicemen and women. How long were you in the hospital?
I was in the hospital for 7 months.
For 7 months. And your therapy was what? I know that, were you on a respirator at that point?
Yes, I was a ventilator.
Or ventilator, I'm sorry.
Who's standing with you in the photograph? We see a gentleman standing next to you.
That's my dad.
Your father. And at that time, was your fiance there as well? Or had you met her at that point?
At that, no, I hadn't.
Yeah, well, how did the both of you meet?
She was training to be one of my nurses, and that's how we first met.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Wendy, what did you first see that made you think that this is a very special person in your life?
Nick was always, from the first time I met him, very happy, smiling, outgoing, and always had a positive outlook. Even all things considered, he was still on a ventilator and had a halo on, and I couldn't believe how positive he still was in that type of situation.
I understand, Nick, that you're actually seeing a lot of progress in your, recovery. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're feeling now?
Yeah, so I'm getting a little bit more movement back. I started doing the stem cell surgeries, and they've helped me. Like, I've cut down a bunch on my nerve pain medication. I've gotten like a little bit more movement back in like my toes and my fingers.
I understand that you're going to have a third operation.
Yes, that one's coming up. It should be in March.
And that is they're going to do the stem cells in your spine this time?
Yes, they're gonna shoot directly into my spine this time.
Well, of course, in our thoughts and prayers during this procedure, and I know one of the things Matt shared with us is that you are moving into a new house that's very special. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yes, we're receiving a house from Homes for Our Troops. It's a fully handy capable house, and it's just amazing.
Wonderful. Wendy, what does that mean to you? And as you see your relationship and your marriage grow into the years ahead, what does a home like this mean to both of you?
For Nick, it'll give him so much more independence that he doesn't have in our current home. It'll be set up with an automated system, so he'll be able to open doors just by voice command. He'll be able to go outside on his own and come back in. The sinks are set up so his wheelchair can roll right underneath them, so he can have his hands washed in the sink or brush his teeth. A roll-in shower, which is huge, so that'll make life a whole lot easier.
Well,
It'll
So-
make life in just a lot easier for both of us.
Well, we want to share something with you. Matt, you have something
Yeah.
very special you want to say?
Absolutely. But before we get to Mason, I just love this, how many people have reached out to them and have helped them give back. You know, even from the doctors, like the stem cell research that Nick does is they take his own stem cells, mix everything together. I'm not a doctor, but they basically take those, put them back in him, and it's helping himself get better.
Yeah.
And what we did is, you know, Mason, like we always like to do, is, you know, give back somehow. So Mason actually wrote you a card, Nick, and go ahead, bud.
In the front it says, "Thank you for serving," and I wrote a picture on the front. Dear Sergeant Nick Mendes, I hope you are feeling better. My dad told me about what you do to protect our country. It sounds very scary. I hope I can be as brave as you one day. I want to be a hero like you when I grow up. Thank you for protecting me. God bless you, Mason.
Oh, honey, that's beautiful. What a lovely card.
I cannot not go back to you, Nick, and ask you how does that make you feel when you hear young people like Mason sit there and acknowledge you and what you've compromised and what you've given for this country?
It makes me proud, like proud that they feel that way. That the next generation coming up, there will be more service members and stuff like that.
It's
Wonderful.
lovely.
Again, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
all that
both.
you've given. Matt, thanks for being a great example on how to raise your children, Matt.
Yeah.
You're still
Listen, that was
my
lovely.
hero.
Michelle.
All right, and again, Wendy, thank you and Nick for coming by and spending some time with us. More information, you can follow us at Home and Family TV. We're coming right back, and we have a few of your Facebook questions, and we're in the hot seat.